Now, when the members come in here and you give your little welcome speech, And after this, I mention my Uncle Elwood and say a few words about his pal Harvey. Damn Harvey!
Myrtle May. That's right. Let everyone in the Wednesday Forum hear you. You said that name. You promised you wouldn't say that name, and you said it.
I'm sorry, Mother, but how do you know Uncle Elwood won't just walk in here and introduce Harvey to everyone?
This is unkind of you, Myrtle. You know, Uncle Elwood is the biggest heartache I have. Even if people do call him peculiar, he's still my brother. And he won't be home this afternoon.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Oh, but Mother, why can't we live like other people?
Myrtle, must I remind you again? Elwood is not living with us. They're living with him.
Him and Harvey. Did Grandmother know about Harvey?
I've often wondered about that. She never wrote me if she did.
Why did she have to leave all of her property to Uncle Elwood?
I suppose it was because she died in his arms. People are sentimental about things like that.
You always say that, and it doesn't make sense. She couldn't have written out her will after she died, could she?
Don't be didactic, Myrtle May. It's unbecoming in a young woman, and men loathe it. Now, don't forget to wave your hand.
I'll do my best.
Oh, Miss Chipsbury's voice is certainly fading.
But not fast enough.
Lovely, Miss Chipsbury, perfectly lovely.
Excuse me, Harvey. I have to answer the phone. Hello? Oh, you got the wrong number. But how are you anyway? This is Elwood P. Dowd speaking. How do? Well, thank you. And what is your name, my dear? Miss Elsie Greenawalt? Harvey, it's a Miss Elsie Greenawalt. How are you today, Miss Greenawalt? That's fine. Why, yes, my dear, I would be happy to join your club. I belong to several clubs now. The University Club, the Country Club, and the Pinnacle Club at the 4th Avenue Firehouse. I spend a good deal of my time there, or at Charlie's place, or over at Eddie's Bar. And what is your club, Miss Greenawalt? Harvey, I get the Ladies' Home Journal, Good Housekeeping, and the Open Road for Boys for 2 years for $6.25. Sounds fine to me. I'll join it. How does it sound to you, Harvey? Harvey says it sounds fine to him also, Miss Greenawalt. He says he will join too. Yes, 2 subscriptions. Mail everything to this address. I hope I will have the pleasure of meeting you sometime, my dear. Harvey, she said she would like to meet me. When? When would you like to meet me, Miss Greenawalt? Why not right now? My sister seems to be having a few friends in, and we would consider it an honor if you would come and join us. My sister would be delighted. 343 Temple Drive. I hope to see you in a very few minutes. Goodbye, my dear. She's coming right over. Harvey, don't you think we'd better freshen up? Yes, so do I.
Mother, Mrs. Chauvenet, she's asking for you. Here's Mother, Mrs. Chauvenet. Here she is. Theta Louise Simmons.
Aunt Ethel. Come, let's have some tea.
Elwood isn't here.
No.
Oh, shame on him. That's the main reason I came. I want to see Elwood.
Come, there are loads of people anxious to speak to you.
Do you realize, Veda, it's been years since I've seen Elwood?
Oh no, where does the time go?
I don't understand it. Just the other day, I was saying to Mr. Chauvenet, what on earth do you suppose has happened to Elwood Dow? He never comes to club dances anymore, and I haven't seen him at a horse show in years. Does Elwood see anybody these days?
Yes, Aunt Ethel. Elwood sees somebody.
Oh, yes.
Your Uncle Elwood, child, is one of my favorite people. Always has been.
I remember.
Is Elwood happy, Veda?
Elwood is very happy, Aunt Ethel. You don't need to worry about Elwood. Oh, why, there's Mrs. Frank Cummings just came in. Don't you want to speak to her?
Oh my, she looks ghastly. Hasn't she failed though?
If you think she looks bad, you should see him.
Is that so? I must have them over. She looks frightful. I thought she was dead.
No.
What about tea then?
Certainly. If you will forgive me, I will proceed you.
Elwood! Elwood! Dow, bless your heart.
Aunt Ethel, what a pleasure to come in and find a beautiful woman waiting for me.
Oh, Elwood, you haven't changed.
Come along, Aunt Ethel. You mustn't miss the party.
We have touched if you don't like tea.
But I like tea. Oh, Elwood, what evening next week can you come for dinner?
Any night at all, Aunt Ethel, I would be delighted.
Elwood, some mail came for you today. I took it upstairs to your room.
Did you, Veda? That was nice of you. Aunt Ethel, I want you to meet Harvey. As you can see, he's a puka. Harvey, you have heard me speak of Mrs. Chauvenet? We always called her Aunt Ethel. She's one of my oldest and dearest friends. What? Yes, that's right. She's the one. This is the one. He says he would have known you anywhere. Oh, you both look lovely. Come on in with me, Harvey. We must say hello to all our friends. Oh, I beg your pardon, Aunt Ethel, if you'll excuse me one moment.
What?
You're standing in his way. Come along, Harvey. Uh-oh. Go right on in, Harvey. I'll join you in a minute. Aunt Ethel, I can see you are disturbed about Harvey. Please don't be. He stares like that at everybody. It's his way. But he liked you. I could tell he liked you very much.
Some tea, perhaps.
Not right now. I think I must be going. But I will talk to you later. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh, God, oh, my God.
Myrtle, where are you going?
Up to my room. He's in there introducing Harvey to everyone. I can't face those people now. I wish I were dead.
Come back here. Stay with me. We'll get him out of there and upstairs to his room.
I won't do it. I can't.
Myrtle Bay.
Ugh.
Now, pretend I'm fixing your corsage.
Oh, Mother.
We've got to pretend we're having a gay little chat. When you catch his eye, tell me. He always comes when I call him. Now, do you see him?
No, not yet. Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Cummings?
Smile, can't you? Have you no pride? I'm smiling and he's my own brother.
Oh, Mother. People get run over by trucks every single day. Why can't something like that happen to Uncle Elwood?
Myrtle May, I am ashamed of you. None of this is your Uncle Elwood's fault anyway.
Oh, you're sticking me with that pin!
That's Miss Ellerby. Keep looking, keep smiling. inscrutable. Should you want, who invited you? Mr. Dowd, thank you just the same, but there has been a mistake. Well, I never.
Never what?
One of your Uncle Elwood's friends. She asked if she should bring a quart of gin to the Wednesday Forum.
Oh, there he is. He's talking to Miss Halsey.
Is Harvey with him?
Oh, what a thing to ask. How can I tell? How can anyone but Uncle Elwood?
Elwood, could you come in here for a moment, dear? I promise you this is the last time that your Uncle Elwood has disgraced us in this house. I'm going to do something I've never done before.
What did you mean just now when you said it wasn't Uncle Elwood's fault? If it's not his fault, then whose fault is it?
Never you mind. Now, hold your head up, smile, and go back in those if nothing had happened at all.
You're no match for Uncle Elwood.
You'll see.
Mother's waiting for you.
Elwood, can I see you for a moment, dear?
Yes, sister. Excuse me, Harvey.
Elwood, would you mind sitting down here and waiting until the party is over? I must talk to you. It's very important.
Of course, sister. I happen to have a little free time right now, and you're welcome to all of it, Zeta. Do you want Harvey to wait too?
Yes, I certainly do.
Ah, Jane Austen. Sit down, Harvey. Data wants to talk to us. She said it was important. I think she wants to congratulate us on the impression we made at her party. Oh, Jane Austen. Deluxe edition, limited. Rossett and Dunlap. The usual acknowledgements. Chapter 1. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a fortune must be in want of a wife.
Mrs. O.R. Simmons, 343 Temple Drive, is that right?
Yes, we were born and raised there. It's old, but we love it. It's our home.
And you wish to enter your brother here at the sanitarium for treatment. Your brother's name?
Oh,
Mrs. Simmons, what is your brother's name?
I'm sorry if this hasn't been easy for any of us, but I'll have to hold my head up just the same. That's what I keep telling Myrtle, and what Myrtle May keeps telling me. Though Myrtle is heartbroken about her Uncle Elwood. Elwood P. Dowd. That's it.
Elwood P. Dowd. His age?
47 on the 24th of last April. He's a Taurus. Taurus the bull. I'm a Leo, and Myrtle's on a cusp.
47. Is he married?
No, Elwood never married. He stayed with Mother. He was always a good homeboy. He loved his home.
And you have him with you now?
Yes, he's in a taxi down in the driveway. I paid the driver $1 to watch him, but I didn't tell him why. Can't tell these things to perfect strangers.
Mr. Wilson, will you step down to a taxi in the driveway and ask the Mr. Dowd if he would be good enough to go to room number 24, South Wing G?
Ask him.
This is his sister, Mrs. Simmons.
Oh, how do? Why, certainly. I'm glad to escort him.
Thank you.
The rates here, Mrs. Simmons, you will find printed on this card.
Oh, that would be taken care of by my mother's estate. The late Marcella Penny Dowd. Judge Gaffney is our attorney.
I'll see if Dr. Sanderson can see you now.
Dr. Sanderson? Well, I want to see Dr. Chumley himself.
Oh, Mrs. Simmons, Dr. Sanderson is the one who sees everyone. Dr. Chumley sees no one.
He's still the head of this institution, isn't he?
wonderful to the patients.
Well, all right. Tell him I'm here.
Right away.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Vega, isn't this wonderful?
Mrs. Simmons?
You startled me. You're Dr. Sanderson?
Yes, will you be seated, please?
Thank you. I hope you don't think I'm startled that easy often.
Of course not. Now, Miss Kelly tells me you're concerned about your brother, Dowd. Is it Elwood P. Dowd?
Yes, Doctor. He's... This isn't easy for me, Doctor.
Well, naturally, these sorts of things aren't easy for the families of patients, I understand.
It's just what Elwood has been doing to himself, Doctor. Myrtle May has a right to a nice friend. She's young and has her whole life before her. That's my daughter.
Your daughter. Tell me, Mrs. Simmons, how long has it been since you began to notice any, well, peculiarity in your brother's actions?
I noticed it right away when Mother died, and Myrtle May and I returned from Des Moines to live with Elwood. I can tell that he...
That he what? Take your time, Mrs. Simmons. Don't stray. Let it come. I'll wait for it.
The doctor, everything I say to you is confidential, isn't it?
That's understood.
Because it's a slap in the face to everything we've stood for in this community, the way Elwood is acting now.
Not a gossip, Mrs. Simmons. I'm a psychiatrist.
Well, for one thing, he drinks.
To excess?
To excess. Don't you call it excess when a man never lets a day go by without stepping into one of those cheap taverns, sitting around with riffraff and people you've never heard of, inviting them to the house, playing cards with them, giving them food and money. And here I am, trying to get Myrtle May started with a group of nice young people. If you don't call that excess, I'm not sure I know what excess is.
Now, I didn't doubt your statement, Mrs. Simmons. I merely asked if your brother drinks.
Well, yes, I say definitely Elwood drinks. And I want him committed out here permanently. Because I can't stand another day of that Harvey. Oh. Myrtle May and I have to set a place at the table for Harvey. We have to move over and make space on the sofa for Harvey. And when Elwood calls, we have to ask to speak to him on the telephone to Harvey. And then at the party this afternoon with Mrs. Chauvenet there, I didn't even know anything about Harvey until I came back here. Tell me, Doctor, don't you think it would have been a little bit kind of Mother to have written and told me about Harvey?
I really can't answer that question.
I can. It certainly would have.
Yes, well, this person you call Harvey, who is he?
He's a rabbit.
Yes, well, perhaps, but just who is he? Some companion, someone your brother has picked up in these bars of whom you disapprove?
Doctor, I'm telling you, Harvey is a rabbit. A big white rabbit. It's 6 feet high. Or is it 6 feet and a half? Heaven knows I ought to know. He's been around the house long enough.
Let me understand this. You say that
Doctor, do I have to keep repeating myself? Elwood insists that his closest friend is this big white rabbit. This rabbit is named Harvey. He lives at our house. Don't you understand? Elwood buys railroad tickets, theater tickets for the both of them. As I told Myrtle May, if your uncle was so lonesome he had to bring something home, why couldn't he bring home something human? He has me, doesn't he? His Myrtle May, doesn't he?
Mrs. Simmons.
Doctor, I'm going to tell you something I've never told anybody in the world before. Sometimes I see that white rabbit myself. Oh, isn't that awful? I've never even told Myrtle May.
Mrs. Simmons.
And what's worse, he's every bit as big as Elwood says he is. Don't tell anybody I said that. I'm ashamed of it.
Mrs. Simmons, I can see that you have been under a great nervous strain.
I certainly have been.
Grief over your mother's death has depressed you considerably?
Nobody knows how much.
Been losing sleep?
Nobody can sleep with all of that going on.
Short-tempered over trifles?
Well, you just try living with the two of them and see how your temper holds up.
Loss of appetite?
Nobody can eat at a table with my brother and a big white rabbit. Well, I'm finished with it. I'll sell the house. I'll be appointed Soda, Elwood Estate. It's too much, Doctor. I can't stand it.
Yes, of course it is, Mrs. Simmons. Yes, you're tired.
I am.
You've been worrying a great deal.
I have been.
And now I'm going to help you.
Oh, Doctor.
Just sit there quietly, Mrs. Simmons. I'll be right back.
I'll just go down to the cab and get Elwood's things.
Why didn't someone answer the buzzer?
I didn't hear you, Doctor.
I rang and rang. Mrs. Simmons. Sound the gong, Wilson. That poor woman must not leave the grounds.
She made with a getaway, huh, Doc?
Her condition is serious. Go after her.
I can't believe it.
Henry, yes, it's Dr. Sanderson. Is the main gate closed? Allow no one out of the main gate. We're looking for a patient. Shouldn't have left her alone, but no one answered the buzzer.
Wilson was in South, Doctor.
Yes, what have we available, Miss Kelly?
Room number 13, Upper West R is ready, sir.
Have her taken there immediately, and I'll prescribe preliminary treatment. I must contact her brother. Dowd is the name, Elwood P. Dowd. Will you get him on the telephone for me, please, Miss Kelly?
But, Doctor, I didn't know it was the woman who needed the treatment. She said it was for her brother.
Of course she did. It's the oldest dodge in the world, always used by a cunning type of psychopath. She apparently knew that her brother was about to commit her, so she came out here to discredit him. I'll get him on the telephone, please.
But, Doctor, I thought the woman was all right. So why had Wilson take her brother to number 24, South Wing G? He's there now.
You had Wilson take the brother in? No gags, please, Kelly. You're not serious, are
Oh,
you?
I really did. I'm terribly sorry, Doctor.
If you're sorry, that just fixes everything, doesn't it?
I'll do it. Miss Dunphy, please unlock the room to number 24. Give Mr. Dowd his clothes and
Ask him to step down to the office right away.
ask him to step down to the office right away. There's been a terrible mistake, and Dr. Sanderson wants to explain.
Explain, apologize.
Thank heaven they hadn't put him in a hydro tub yet to let him out.
Beautiful and dumb, too. It's almost too good to be true.
Oh, I didn't know. I feel just awful. Judge Gaffney called and said Mrs. Simmons and her... You do not have to be sarcastic.
Oh, don't I? Stop worrying. We'll squirm out of this some way.
Where are you going?
I've got to tell the chief about this, Kelly. He may want to handle it himself.
Oh, he'll be furious. I know he will. He'll die. And then he'll terminate me.
No, Kelly. The responsibility is all mine.
Oh, no, Doctor. Tell him it was all my fault.
Oh, no, I never mention your name. Except in my sleep.
But this man Dowd.
Don't let him get away. I'll be right back.
But what shall I do? What shall I say? He'll be furious.
But look, Kelly, he'll probably be fit to be tied, but he's a man, isn't he?
I guess so. His name is Mr.
So go into your old routine. You know, the eyes, the swish, the works. I'm immune, but I've seen it work on some of the people, some of the patients out here. Keep him here, Kelly, if you have to do a striptease.
Well, of all that, Oh, you're wonderful, Dr. Sanderson. You're just about the most wonderful man I've ever met in my life.
Yeah? How about give me a lift here just the same?
What?
That's Simmons' name.
Oh, did you catch her?
Slick as a whistle. She was coming down the path, humming a little tune. I jumped out from behind a tree and says, "Sister, there's a man wants to see you." You should have heard her yell. She's wacky, all right.
Take her to number 13, Upper West Arlington.
Well, she's there now. I brought her in through the dye kitchen. She was screaming and kicking like hell. I'll hold her if you'll come undress her.
Just a minute. Dr. Sanderson wants me here to wait for her brother.
Well, make it snappy.
You're Mr. Dowd?
Elwood P.
I'm Miss Kelly.
Let me give you one of my cards. If you should want to call me at this number. Don't call me at that one. That's the old one.
Thank you.
Perfectly all right. And if you lose it, don't worry, my dear. I have plenty more.
Thank you. Would you like a chair?
Thank you. I'll have two. Allow me.
Dr. Sanderson is very anxious to speak with you. He'll be in a minute. Won't you please sit down?
After you, my dear.
Oh, I really can't. I'm in and out all the time, but you mustn't mind me. Please have a seat.
After you.
Can I get you a magazine to look at?
I'd much rather look at you, Miss Kelly, if you don't mind. You really are very lovely.
Well, thank you. Some people don't seem to think so.
Some people are blind. That is often brought to my attention. And now, Miss Kelly, I would like to have you meet...
Oh, Mr. Dowd.
Elwood P. Let me give you one of my cards. If you should want to call me at this number. Don't call me at
Mr.
that.
Dowd, I'm Dr. Lyman Sanderson, Dr. Chumley's assistant out here.
Well, good for you. I'm happy to know you. How are you, Doctor?
That's going to depend on you, I'm afraid. Please, have a seat. You've met Miss Kelly, Mr. Dowd?
I have had that pleasure. And I want both of you to meet a very dear friend.
Later on, be glad to. But won't you please have a seat?
After Miss Kelly.
Sit down, Kelly. Is that chair quite comfortable for you, Mr. Dowd?
Yes, thank you. Would you care to try it?
No, thank you. But how about an ashtray there? Can we get Mr. Dowd an ashtray? Is it too warm in here for you, Mr. Dowd? Would you like me to open the window?
Mr. Dowd, Dr. Sanderson wants to know if he should open the window.
That's entirely up to him. I wouldn't want to live his life for him.
Now then, Mr. Dowd, I can see that you are not the type of person to be taken in by any high-flown phrases or beating about the bush.
Is that so, Doctor?
You have us at a disadvantage here. You know it, we know it. Let's just lay the cards on the table.
That certainly appeals to me, Doctor.
Best way in the long run. But people are people, no matter where you go.
That is very often the case.
And, being human, are therefore liable to, well, mistakes. Miss Kelly and I have made a mistake here this afternoon, Mr. Dowd, and we would like to explain it to you.
It wasn't Dr. Sanderson's fault, Mr. Dowd. It was all mine.
Human failing, as I said.
I find it very interesting, nevertheless. You and Miss Kelly here, this afternoon, you say?
We do hope you'll understand, Mr. Dowd.
Oh, yes, yes. These things are often the basis of a long and warm friendship.
And the responsibility is, of course, not hers, but mine.
Your attitude may be old-fashioned, Doctor, but I like it.
Now, if I had seen your sister first, this would have been an entirely different story.
There you surprise me, Doctor. I think the world in all of Vega, but I had supposed she had seen her day.
But you must not attach any blame to her. She is a very sick woman. Came in here insisting you were in need of treatment. That's perfectly ridiculous.
Data shouldn't be upset about me. I get along fine.
Exactly. But you see, your sister had already spoken to Miss Kelly, and there had been a call from your family lawyer, Judge Gaffney.
Oh, yes, I know him. I know his wife, too. Nice people.
Is there something I can get for you, Mr. Dowd?
What did you have in mind?
A light. Here, let me get you a
Oh,
light.
no. I don't smoke.
Your sister, was extremely nervous and plunged right away into a heated tirade on your drinking.
That was Veda.
Well, she became hysterical.
I tell Veda not to worry about that. I'll take care of that.
Exactly. Oh, I suppose you take a drink every now and then, same as the rest of us?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I would like one right now.
Matter of fact, so would I. But your sister's reaction to the entire matter of drinking was entirely too intense. Does your sister drink, Mr. Dow?
Oh, no, Doctor, no. I don't believe Veda has ever taken a drink.
Well, I'm going to surprise you. I think she has, and does, constantly.
I'm certainly surprised.
But it's not her alcoholism that's going to be the basis for my diagnosis of her case. It was much more severe than that. It was when she began talking so emotionally about this big white rabbit. Harvey, yes, I believe she called him Harvey.
Harvey is his name.
She claimed you were persecuting her with this Harvey.
I haven't been persecuting her with Harvey. Veda shouldn't feel that way. And now, Doctor, before we go any further, I must insist
just
that you
let me make my point first, Mr. Down, because this trouble of your sister's, it did not spring up overnight. Your sister's condition stems from trauma.
From what?
From trauma. It's spelled T-R-A-U-M-A. It means shock. There's nothing unusual about it. There's the birth trauma, the shock to the act of being born.
That's the one we never get over.
You have a nice sense of humor, Mr. Dow, doesn't he, Miss Kelly?
Oh, yes, Doctor.
May I say the same about both of you?
Now, to sum it all up, your sister's condition is serious, but I can help her. She must, however, remain out here temporarily.
I've always wanted Veda to have everything she needs.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't want Veda to stay out here unless she liked it out here and wanted to stay here.
Of course not. Did Wilson get what he went after?
Yes, Doctor.
What was Mrs. Simmons' attitude, Miss Kelly?
Not unusual, Doctor.
Mr. Dowd, if this were an ordinary delusion, something reflected on the memory picture, in other words, if your sister were seeing something that she had seen once before, that would be one thing. But this is far more serious. It stands to reason that nobody has ever seen a white rabbit 6 feet high.
Well, very often, Doctor.
I like you, Mr. Dowd.
I like you too, Doctor. And Miss Kelly here, I like her too.
Yes, so your sister must be committed out here temporarily. Under these circumstances, I would commit my own grandmother.
Does your grandmother drink too?
No, it's just an expression. Now, will you sign these commitment papers as next of kin? Just a formality.
Oh, you better have Veda do that, Doctor. She always does all the signing and managing for the family. She's good at it.
We can't disturb her now.
Perhaps I better talk it over with Judge Gatsby.
You can discuss it all with him later. Tell him I advised it. And it's not as if you couldn't drop in here any time and make inquiries. We're glad to have you. I will make out a full visitor's pass for you. When would you like to come back? Wednesday, say? Friday, say?
You and Miss Kelly have been so pleasant. I can come back right after dinner, about an hour.
Well, we're awfully busy around here, but I guess that's all right.
I don't really have to go now. I'm not very hungry.
We're delighted to have you stay, but Miss Kelly and I must be getting on upstairs now. Plenty of work to do. But I tell you what you might like to do.
What might I like to do?
Well, we don't usually do this, but just to make sure in your mind that your sister is in good hands, why don't you take a look around here? If you take a right through that door, and just beyond the stairway, you'll come upon the occupational therapy room. And just beyond that, the library, the conservatory, and the diet kitchen.
For Veda's sake, I believe I'd better do that, Doctor.
Very well. It has been a great pleasure to have this little chat with you, Mr. Dowd.
I've enjoyed it too, Doctor, meeting you and Miss Kelly.
And I will say that for a layman, you show an unusually acute perception into psychiatric problems.
Is that a fact? I never thought I knew anything about it. Nobody does, do you think?
Well, the good psychiatrist is not found under every bush.
You have to pick the right bush. We all seem to have enjoyed this so much. Let us keep right on. I would like to invite you to come with me now down to Charlie's place and have a drink. When I enjoy people, I like to stay right with them.
Sorry, we're on duty right now, but give us a rain check some other time. Be glad to.
When?
Well, I can't say. Miss Kelly and I don't get off of duty till 10 o'clock at night.
Let us go to Charlie's at 10 o'clock tonight. And you, Miss Kelly?
Well,
Dr. Chumley does not approve of members of the staff fraternizing, but well, since you've been so understanding, perhaps we could manage.
I will pick you up out here in a cab at 10 o'clock tonight, and the four of us will spend a happy evening together. I want you both to become friends with a very dear friend of mine. You said later on, so later on it will be. Goodbye now.
I can breathe again.
It was a close shave, all right, but he seemed a pretty reasonable sort of fellow. That man's proud. What he has to be proud of, I don't know, but I played up to that pride. You can get to almost anyone if you want to. Now, I have to look in on this Simmons woman.
Dr. Sanderson, you say you can get to almost anyone if you want to. How can you do that?
Well, it takes study, Kelly. Years of specialized training. It's just one thing I don't like about this Dow business.
What's that?
Having to make that date with him. Of course, the man has left here as a good friend and booster of this sanitarium, so I guess I'll have to go with him tonight, but you don't have to go.
Oh,
There's no point in it. I'll go meet with him and have a drink, pat him on the back, and leave. I have a date tonight anyway.
oh. Yes, of course. I didn't intend to go anyways. The idea bored me stiff. I wouldn't go if I never went anywhere again. I wouldn't go if my life depended on it.
Oh, calm now, Miss Kelly. What are you getting so emotional about?
He may be a funny man with particular-looking clothes, but he knows how to act. His manners were perfect.
Yes, and I saw you giving him the dog puss stare. I didn't miss that.
He wouldn't sit down till I sat down. He called me lovely and told me I was dear. I'd go to have a drink with him if you weren't going.
Of course you would. And look at him. All he does is hang around bars. He doesn't work. All that phony bowing and getting up out of his chair every time a woman makes a move. He's as outdated as a cast iron deer. Oh, but you sit with him at a bar. Let him flatter you. You're a wonderful girl, Kelly.
Now, let me tell you something. You...
Dr. Sanderson and Miss Kelly,
Yes, doctor.
tell the gardener to prune more carefully around my prized dahlias along the fence by the main road. I'll be ready for cutting next week. The difficulty of the woman with the big white rabbit. Has that been smoothed over?
Yes, doctor. I spoke to her brother and he seemed quite reasonable.
Well, I have had many patients up here who saw animals. I've never had a patient with an animal that large.
Yes, doctor. She called him Harvey.
Harvey? That's an unusual name for an animal of any kind. Harvey's a man's name. I've known several men in my day named Harvey, but I've never heard of an animal of any type whatsoever with that name. This case has an interesting phase. Doctor,
Yes, doctor.
I'll go upstairs with you now and look in on this woman. It may be we can use my formula 977 on her. I'll give you my advice for prescribing treatment, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
And now, may I ask, what is that hat and coat doing on the table? Whose is it?
I don't know, doctor. Do you know, Miss Kelly? Was it Dow's?
He had his hat on when he left, doctor. Perhaps it belongs to a relative of one of the patients.
Hand me the hat. There may be some kind of identification. What's this? 2 holes cut in the crown of this hat. See?
That's strange.
Some new fad. Put them away. Hang them up. Get them out of here.
Hello, Dr. Chumley.
Oh, there you are.
How is every little thing?
Fair, Wilson. Thank you, fair.
Look, someone's going to have to help me with that Simmons girl.
Put her a string jack or something. She's terrible.
Forgot me, didn't you? Well, I got her corset off all by myself.
We're going upstairs to look in on the patient right now, Wilson.
Well, she's in a hydro tub right now. God, I left the water running on her.
have to go upstairs and check on this patient. Be down shortly.
Give a little quick diagnosis, Willie. We don't want to be late to that party. I'm dying to see the inside of that house. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Mrs. Chumley, Dr. Chumley's wife.
I'm happy to know that. Dowd is my name, Elwood P. Let me give you one of my cards. Now, if you should want to call me at this one. Don't call me at that one, because that's the old one.
Thank you. Is there something I can do for you?
What did you have in mind?
You seem to be looking for someone.
Yes, I am. I'm looking for Harvey. I went off without him.
Harvey, is he a patient here?
Oh, no, nothing like that.
Does he work here?
Oh, no, he is what you might call my best friend. He's also a puka. He came out here with me this afternoon.
Where was he when you last saw him?
In that chair there, with his hat and coat on the table.
There doesn't seem to be any hat and coat around here now. Perhaps he left.
Apparently. I don't see him anywhere.
What was that word you just said? Puka?
Yes, that's it.
Is that something new?
Oh, no, as I understand it, that's something very old.
Oh, really? I never heard of that before.
I'm not too surprised at that. I hadn't myself until I met him. I do hope you get the opportunity to meet him. I'm sure he'd be quite taken with you.
Oh, really? That's very nice of you to say so, I'm sure.
Not at all. If Harvey happens to take a liking to people, he expresses himself quite definitely. If he's not particularly interested, he sits there like an empty chair or an empty space on the floor. Harvey takes his time making his mind up about people. Choosy, you see.
That's not such a bad way to be in this day and age.
Harvey is fond of my sister Veda. That's because he's fond of me, and Veda and I come from the same family. Now, you'd think that feeling would be mutual, wouldn't you? But Veda doesn't seem to care for Harvey. Don't you think that's rather too bad, Mrs. Chumley?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Dowd. I gave up a long time ago expecting my family to like my friends. It's useless.
But we must keep on trying.
Well, there's no harm in trying, I suppose.
Because if Harvey has said to me once, he has said to me 1,000,000 times, Mr. Dowd, I would do anything for you. Mrs. Chumley,
Yes.
did you know Mrs. McElhenney's Aunt Rose is going to drop in on her unexpectedly tonight from Cleveland?
Why, no, I didn't.
Neither does she. That puts you both in the same boat, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know anybody named Mrs.
Mrs. McElhenney lives next door to us. She's a wonderful woman. Harvey told me about her Aunt Rose. That's an interesting little insider, and you are perfectly free to pass it around.
Well,
Would you care to come downtown with me now, my dear? I would be glad to buy you a drink.
thank you very much. But I'm waiting for Dr. Chumley. And if he came down and found me gone, he would be liable to raise... He would be irritated.
Well, you wouldn't want that, would we? Some other time, maybe?
I'll tell you what I'll do, however.
What would you do, however? I'm interested.
If your friend comes in while I'm here, I'd be glad to give him a message for you.
Could you do that? I'd certainly appreciate that.
No trouble at all. I'll write it down on the back of this. What would you like me to tell him if he comes in while I'm still here?
Ask him to meet me downtown, if he has no other plans.
Meet Mr. Dowd downtown. Any particular place downtown?
He knows where. Harvey knows this town like a book.
Harvey, you know where. Harvey what?
Just Harvey.
I'll tell you what.
What?
Doctor and I are headed right downtown to 12th and Montview. Dr. McClure is having a cocktail party.
Cocktail party. Well,
We're driving there in a few minutes. We could give your friend a lift into town.
I hate to impose on you, but I would certainly appreciate that.
No trouble at all. Dr. McClure is having this party for his sister from Wichita.
I didn't know Dr. McClure had a sister in Wichita.
Oh, you know Dr. McClure?
No. I'm quite sure you had time to come into town with me and have a drink.
I really couldn't, but thank you. Just the same.
Some other time, perhaps.
Thank you.
It's been very nice to meet you, and I hope to see you again.
Yes, so do I.
Good night, my dear. You can't miss Harvey. He's very tall. Like that.
That Simmons woman is uncooperative, Doctor. She refused to admit to me that she has this big white rabbit. Insists it's her brother's. Give her 2 of these at 9. Another at 10 if she continues to be so restless. Another trip to the hydro room at 8, and in the morning at 7. Then we'll see if she won't cooperate, won't we, Doctor?
Yes, Doctor?
You know where to call me if you need me. Are you ready, Pet?
Yes, Willie. And, oh, Willie,
Yes?
there was a man in here. A man named, let me see, Dowd. Elwood P. Dowd.
That's Mrs. Simmons' brother, Doctor. I gave him a visiting pass and told him he could have a look around.
She mustn't see anyone at all tonight. No one at all. Tell him that.
Yes, Doctor?
He didn't ask to see her. He was looking for someone, some friend of his.
Who could that be, Dr. Sanderson?
No, Doctor.
He said it was someone he came out here with this afternoon.
Was there anyone with Dowd when you saw him, Miss Kelly?
No, doctor, not when I saw him.
Well, he said there was. He said he last saw his friend sitting right in that chair there with his hat and coat. He seemed quite disappointed.
Dr. Sanderson,
I told him if we located his friend, we could give him a lift into town. He could ride in the back seat. Is that all right, Willie?
Of course, of course.
Oh, here it is. I wrote his name on the back of his card. His friend's name was Harvey.
Harvey!
He didn't give me a last name. He mentioned something else about him. Hookah, but I didn't quite get what that was.
Harvey?
He said his friend was very tall. Well, why are you looking like that, Willie? This man was a very nice, polite man, and he merely asked if he'd give his friend a lift into town. And if we can't do a favor for someone, why are we living?
Mrs. Chumley, get me that hat.
Where did he go?
By George, we'll
I
find
don't
out about
know
this.
where he went just a moment ago.
Gaffney, Judge, Gaffney.
Main gate. Henry, did a man in a gray suit go out through the main gate just a moment ago? He did? He's gone?
Judge Gaffney, yes, this is Dr. William Chumley, the psychiatrist. I'm making a routine checkup on the spelling of a name before I enter it into our records. Judge, you telephoned out this afternoon about having a client of yours committed. How is that name spelled? Oh, with a W, not a U. Mr. Elwood P. Dowd. Thank you, Judge. Dr. Sanderson, I do believe your name is Sanderson.
Yes, Doctor.
You know that much, do you? You went to medical school. You specialized in the study of psychiatry. You graduated and you went forth. Perhaps they neglected to tell you that a rabbit has long pointed ears. That the hat for this rabbit would have to be perforated in order to make room for those ears.
Dowd seemed perfectly reasonable.
Doctor, the function of a psychiatrist is to tell the difference between those who are reasonable and those who merely act and talk reasonably.
Doctor,
Do you realize what you have done to me? No, you don't answer, I will tell you. You have permitted a psychopathic case to walk off these grounds and to roam around with an overgrown white rabbit. You have subjected me, a psychiatrist, to the humiliation of having to call, of all things, a lawyer, to find out who came here to be committed and who came here to commit.
Doctor,
Just a minute. Wilson, I want you to... I now have to go do something I haven't done in 15 years. I have to go out and find this patient, Elwood P. Dowd, and I have to bring him back. And when I do bring him back, your connection with this institution is ended as of that moment. Wilson, get the car. Pet, call the McClures and say we can't make it. Miss Kelly, come upstairs and we'll get that woman out of the tub.
Yes, doctor.
I have to tell the cook we'll be home for dinner. She'll be furious. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
what is a puka?
Oh, what?
A puka.
Search me, Mrs. Jones.
I wonder if it would be in the encyclopedia here. They have everything here. I wonder if it is a lodge or what it is. Oh, I don't dare to stop to do this now. Dr. Chumley won't want to come down and find me still here. He'll raise, oh dear.
P-O-O-K-A. Puka. From the old Celtic mythology. The fairy spirit fairy spirit in animal form. Always very large. Puka appears here and there, now and then, to this one and that one at his own caprice. A wise but mischievous creature. Very fond of rumpots, crackpots, and how are you, Mr. Wilson? How are you, Mr. Wilson? The encyclopedia wants to know. Go to hell with it.
That's right, the stairs at the end of the hall. They lead to the 3rd floor. Oh, go right up, I'll be there in a minute.
Well, where is she?
Where is who? Whom do you mean, Judge Gaffney? Sit down, why don't you?
I mean your mother.
Why, Judge Gaffney, you know where she is. She took Uncle Elwood out to the sanitarium.
I know that. But why was I called at the club with a lot of hysteria? Couldn't even get what she was talking about. Carrying on something fierce.
Mother, carrying on what about?
I don't know. She was hysterical.
That's strange. She left here with Uncle Elwood and out to the sanitarium. All she had to do was put him in. Did you find it? Good, I'll be there in a minute.
Ooh.
They found it.
Found what are you talking about?
Oh, when Mother left for the sanitarium, I went to the realtor's office to put the house on the market. And what do you think I found there?
I'm not a quiz kid.
I found a man there who was looking for an old house just like this, to cut up into buffet apartments. He's going through it now.
Now see here, little May. This house doesn't belong to you. It belongs to your Uncle Elwood.
But now that Uncle Elwood is locked up, Mother controls the property, doesn't she?
Where is your mother? Where's Veda Louise?
Judge, she's at Chumley's Rest telling them about Harvey and putting Uncle Elwood in.
I know that, but why did she call me at the club when I was in the middle of a game and scream at me to meet her here about something important?
I don't know. I simply don't know. Have you got the deed to the house?
Certainly. It's in my safe. Myrtle May, I feel pretty bad about this thing about locking Elwood up.
Mother and I get to take a long trip now, out to Pasadena.
I always liked that boy. He could have done anything, been anything. Could have made a place for himself in this community.
And all he did was get a big rabbit.
He had everything. Brains, personality, friends. Men liked him, women liked him, I liked him.
Are you telling me that once Uncle Elwood was like other men, that women actually liked him in that way?
Since he started running around with this big rabbit. But they did once. Once that mailbox of your grandmother's was full of these little glue-scented envelopes for Elwood.
I can't believe it.
Yes, but there's always something different about him.
I don't doubt that.
Yes, he was always so calm about any sudden change in plans. I used to admire it. I should have been suspicious. Take your average man, looking up and seeing a big white rabbit. He'd do something about it. But not Elwood. He took that calmly, too. Look where it got him.
You don't dream how far overboard he's gone on this rabbit.
Oh, yes, I do. He's had that rabbit in my office many a time. I'm old, but I don't miss much. Oh, what's that noise?
Oh, the prospective fire on the 3rd floor. Mother, look, Judge!
Phaeton Louise! What's wrong, girl?
I thought I'd never see either of you again.
Oh, take hold of her, Judge. She looks like she's going to faint. There, Mother, you're going to be all right. You're going to be perfectly all right.
Steady, girl, steady. Ease her in, Myrtle, ease her
Only
in.
get me someplace I can sit down.
Easy, steady, girl. Ease her in, Myrtle. Would you like some tea, Veda? Get her some tea.
Do you want some tea, Mother? Get her coat off, Judge.
Myrtle, get her coat off. Help her with her coat.
Leave me alone! Let me sit here. Let me get my breath.
Let her catch her breath, Judge.
Let me sit here. And let me catch my breath. And then let me get upstairs to my own bed where I can let go.
What happened to you, Mother?
Omar, I want you to sue them. They put me in and let Elwood out.
What's this?
Mother! Look at my hair!
But what did you do? Oh, what did you say? You must have done something.
I didn't do anything. I simply told them about Elwood and Harvey.
I don't understand this. How could this happen to you?
I told them about Elwood, and then I went down to the cab to get Elwood's things. As I was walking along the path, this awful man stepped out. He was a white slaver. I knew he was, but he had on one of those white suits. That's how they advertise.
A man? What did he do, Mother?
Oh, what did he do? Oh, he took hold of me, and he took me in there, and then he...
What did he do, Veda? What did he do?
Poor Mother. Was he a young man?
Myrtle, May, perhaps you better leave the room.
No, I should say not. Go on, Mother.
Go on, Veda. Go on.
He took me in there, and then he tore my clothes off.
Do you hear that, Judge? Go on, Mother.
And he sat me down in a tub of water.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I always thought that what you wear showed on your face. Don't you believe it, Judge? Don't you believe it, Myrtle? That man grabbed me like I was a woman on the streets. But I always said I'd fight if a man jumped me. Haven't I always said that, Myrtle?
She's always said that, Judge. Mother always told me to do that.
He hustled me into that sanitarium. And he began treating me like I was
A what?
a crazy woman. But he did that just for spite.
I'll be damned.
Those doctors, they came upstairs and began asking me all of these questions, all about sex, urges, and filthy stuff like that. You better clean that place up, Omar. You better have the authorities clean it up. Myrtle, don't you ever go out there, you hear me?
This stinks to high heaven, Veda. By God, it stinks. If Chumley thinks he can run an unsavory place like this on the outskirts of town, he'll be publicly chastised. By God, I'll run him out of the state.
Tell me, Doctor, is that all those... Judge, I'm sorry. Is that all those doctors do at places like that? Think about
said these doctors came up to talk to you. That was Dr. Chumley and what was the other doctor's name?
Dr. Sanderson. Don't you believe anything he tells you. He's a liar. Close-set eyes. They're always liars. Besides, I told him something in the strictest confidence and he blabbed it.
What did you tell him, Mother?
Oh, what does it matter? I didn't want to talk about it. You can't trust anybody.
Anything you told this Dr. Sanderson, you can tell us. This is your daughter and I'm your lawyer.
Well, I know which is which. I want to sue them. And I want to get upstairs to my own bed.
But Mother, this is the important part. Where is Uncle Elwood?
I should have known better than to do anything about him. Something protects him. That awful puka.
Mother, where is Uncle Elwood? Answer me.
How should I know? They're not interested in men in places like that. Don't act so naive, Myrtle May. What's that noise?
I found a buyer for the house.
What?
Listen, Mother, we've got to find Uncle Elwood. No matter who jumped at you, we've still got to lock Uncle Elwood up.
I don't know where he is. The next time you take him, Judge, wait until Elwood hears about what they did to me. He won't stand for it. And don't forget to sue them, Judge. Oh, Myrtle, all I hope is that never, as long as you live, a man tears the clothes off you and dumps you into a tub of cloth.
See? Mother's muffed everything. No matter what happened out there today, Elwood is still roaming around with Harvey.
The thing for me to do is take some more notes.
It's all Uncle Elwood's fault. He found out what Mother was up to and then had her put in. Then he ran.
Don't talk like that. Your uncle thinks the world and all of your mother. And in fact, ever since he was a little boy, he used to share everything he had with her.
I'm not going to give up. We'll get detectives. We'll find him. Besides, you better save some of that sympathy for me and Mother. You don't realize what we have to put up with. Wait till I show you what he brought home about 6 months ago. We hid it out in the garage. You just wait.
I'm going up to talk to Fatal Louise. There's more in this than she's telling. I can sense that.
You just wait here, Judge.
No, I'll wait.
Okay, is he here?
No. And who are you?
That crackpot with the rabbit, is he here?
What are you talking about?
What you... Not here, Doctor. Okay. Dr. Chumley's coming in anyway. What's your name?
Chumley? Well, I've got something to say to him.
What's your name? Let's have it.
Gaffney, Judge Omar Gaffney. And who are you?
The reason I ask your name is the doctor always likes to know who he's talking to. This guy says his name's Judge Gaffney, Doctor.
Well, Chumley.
Good evening, Judge. Let's not waste any time. Has he been here?
Elwood? No. But I've got something to talk to you about.
Sure he ain't been here. He's wise. He's hiding now. Be an awful job to smoke him out.
Well, it would be more difficult, but I can do it. They're sly. They're cunning. And I get them. I always get them. Have me the list of the places we've been, Wilson?
Right here, Doctor.
Now read it.
We've been to 17 bars, Eddie's place, Charlie's place, Bessie's barn dance, 4th Avenue Firehouse, the 10th and the 12th and the 9th Avenue firehouses, just to make sure. The Union Station, the grain elevator. Say, why does this guy go down to a grain elevator?
Foreman is a friend of his. He has many friends in many places.
I've stopped by to ask Mrs. Simmons if she has any other suggestions as to where we might look for him.
Dr. Chumley, I must inform you that Mrs. Simmons has retained me to file suit against you.
What?
For what happened to her at the sanitarium this afternoon.
A suit?
And while we're on that subject...
Ain't that pretty, Doctor? After us dragging your tail all over town trying to find
What
it.
happened this afternoon was an unfortunate mistake. and I have discharged my assistant who made it. And I am prepared to take full charge of this man's case personally. You're interested. And my interest in the case is something no amount of money can buy. You can ask Gideon.
But this business this
Why don't you
afternoon.
Dad? Now, this is how I see this thing. I see it this way. The important item now is to get that man and to take him back to the sanitarium where he belongs.
That's right, Judge. That's what I think.
Let me introduce Miss Myrtle May Simmons, Mr. Dowd's niece, Mrs. Simmons' daughter.
How do you do, Dr. Chumley?
How do you do, Miss Simmons?
Hello, Myrtle.
What? Oh.
Now then, let me talk to Mrs. Simmons.
Oh, Mother will come down. I know she won't. You try to get her to come down, Judge.
See here, your mother was manhandled. She was this business this afternoon. This man was not professional. He was personal.
Now listen, this is a serious charge.
Dr. Chumley, I've been with you for 10 years. Are you going to take the word of... What's your name again?
Gaffney, Judge Omar Gaffney.
Thanks. You're going to take the word of this old blister Gaffney?
Wilson.
Me. Me and a dame who sees a rabbit.
It's not Mrs. Simmons who sees the rabbit. It's her brother.
Yes, it's Uncle Elwood.
Doctor, will you come with me, please?
Very well, Judge. Wilson, I have a situation here. Wait for me.
Okay, Doctor. So, your name's Myrtle May.
What? Oh, yes.
Grab your uncle. You're liable to be coming up to the sanitarium on visiting days.
Oh, I don't know.
And if you do, I'll be there.
You will?
Yeah. And if you don't see me right away, don't give up. Stick around. I'll show up.
You will?
Yeah. You heard Dr. Chumley tell me to wait.
Yeah.
Tell you what, while I'm waiting, sure could use a cup of coffee and a sandwich.
Certainly. If you'll forgive me, I'll precede you into the kitchen.
Yes, sir. You're all right, Myrtle.
What?
Dr. Chumley noticed it right away. And he don't miss a trick. Tell you something else.
What?
You not only got a nice build, kid, you got something else.
What?
You got the screwiest uncle ever stuck his puss inside her nut out. Hello? Chumley's Rest? Is Dr. Chumley there? Oh, it's Mrs. Chumley. This is Elwood P. Dowd speaking. How are you tonight? Tell me, Mrs. Chumley, were you able to locate Harvey? Don't worry about it. I'll find him. I'm sorry I missed you at the floor cocktail party. The people were all charming, and I was able to leave quite a few of my cards. I waited until you phoned and said you couldn't come because a patient had escaped. Where am I? I'm here. But I'm leaving right away. I must find Harvey. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Chumley. My regards to you and anybody else you happen to run into. Goodbye.
You may as well go home and wait, Doctor. I'm suing you for $50,000, and that's final.
Mrs. Simmons,
Yes, hello.
the picture over your mantel.
That portrait
painted?
Oh, some man. He came for the sittings and we paid him and he left. Well, all right. No, this is Dexter 1567.
Well, I suppose if you have money to pay people, you can persuade them to do anything.
Now, Doctor, what was it I said to you when you helped me out of the tub at your place this afternoon?
You expressed yourself. I don't remember the words.
I said, isn't this a belated civility? Isn't that what I said?
You said something of the sort.
You brought this up, you may as well learn something quick. I took a course in art last winter. The difference between a fine oil painting and something mechanical, like a photograph, is that a photograph only shows the reality. A painting shows not only the reality, but our dreams behind it. It's our dreams that keep us going, separates us from the beasts. Why, I wouldn't even want to keep on living if I thought it was all just sleeping, eating, and taking my clothes off. Well, putting them on again.
Steady now, steady. Everything's all right. Now, what's the matter?
Doctor, that's not my mother.
Glad to hear that.
Elwood's been here, Doctor. Elwood's been here.
Better be quiet now. I'll get it. Hello? Yes. Yes, who's calling? Here he is, Mrs. Simmons. It's your brother.
Let me speak to him.
Don't tell him I'm here. Be casual.
Hello, Elwood. Where are you? Just a minute. He wants to speak to Harvey.
Tell him Harvey's here.
But he isn't.
Tell him that will bring him here, perhaps. Now, you have to humor him. We must humor him.
Yes, Elwood. Harvey is here. Why don't you come home? Oh. Oh. Well, all right. It won't work. He says he wants to speak to Harvey.
We'll say Harvey's here, but he can't come to the telephone right now. Say he's in the bathtub. Yes. Say he's in the bathtub, and you'll send him over there. That way we can find out where he is. Now, you've got to do it, Mrs. Simmons.
Yes, Elwood. Harvey is here, but he can't come to the phone right now. He's in the bathtub. I'll send him over when he's dry. Where are you? Where, Elwood?
Did he hang up?
Harvey just walked in. He doesn't turn back. It must be a stranger. But I know where he is. He's at Harvey's place. That's the bar on 12th and Main.
12th and Main. That's 2 blocks over and 1 down, isn't it?
Doctor, where are you going?
I am going to get your brother and to take him out to the sanitarium where he belongs.
No, Doctor, don't do that. Send one of your attendants. I'm warning you.
But Mrs. Simmons, if I am to help your brother,
There's no help for Elwood. No. There's no helping Elwood. He must be picked up, locked up, and left.
do you consider your brother a dangerous man?
Dangerous.
Why?
Oh, I won't tell you why. But if I didn't, why would I be looking for a permanent commitment for him?
Then I must observe this man. I must watch his facial expressions as he talks to his rabbit. He does talk to the rabbit, you say.
Oh, they tell each other everything.
What's that?
I said, of course he speaks to Harvey. But don't go after him, Doctor. I'm warning you, you'll regret it.
Nonsense. You underestimate me, Mrs. Simmons.
You underestimate my brother.
No, not at all. Now, don't you worry. I can handle him.
You can handle him. Well, that's what you think. Run away, see who's in the bathtub. Go!
Thank you. I may call later.
How about the stuff in your room, Doctor? Upstairs.
All packed. Thanks, Wilson.
Stuff you're getting bounced, right? You think you want to make it great.
Those are the breaks.
When you taking off?
As soon as Dr. Chumley gets back.
Have you heard back from the desk sergeant at police accident bureau yet?
Not yet. I just spoke to the downtown dispensary. They haven't seen him either.
Beginning to smell awfully funny to me. 4 hours he's been gone, not a word from him. Anyway, well, Doctor, I may not see you again, so I wanted to say I wish you the best of luck and awfully sorry you're kicking the ass for it.
Thank you, Wilson. Good luck to you, too.
Look, Kelly, let me know when you hear back from the desk sergeant. There's no sign of the doctor. I'm going into town to look for him. You should have known better to go off after a cycle down.
I'd like to have a look for the doctor, too, Wilson.
Well, that's full of you, Doctor, right after he gave you the brush.
Now, I've no resentments against Dr. Chumley. He was right, and I was wrong. Dr. Chumley's the biggest man in his field. It's my loss not to be able to work with him.
You're not so small yourself, Doctor.
Thanks, Wilson.
Don't mention.
Dr. Sanderson.
Yes?
Well, Doctor, I too would like to wish you a lot of luck. And I'm sorry to see you leave.
Are you sure you can spare these good wishes, Miss Kelly?
On second thought, I guess I can't. Forget it.
Miss Kelly, this is for nothing. Just a little, advice. I'd be a little careful if I were you about the kind of company I kept.
I beg your pardon, Doctor.
You don't have to. I told you it was free. I saw you Saturday night dancing with that drip in the Rose Room down at the Frontier Hotel.
Did you? I didn't notice you.
I'd be a little careful of him if I were you, Kelly. He looked to me a bit like a schizophrenic all the way across the floor.
You really shouldn't have given him a second thought, Doctor. He was my date, not yours.
Well, that was his mentality. As for the rest of him, well...
She was beautiful, though.
Who?
That girl you were dancing with?
Oh, I thought you didn't notice.
You bumped into us. Twice. How could I help it?
Not that it makes any difference to you, but that girl is a charming little lady. She's a sweet, kind disposition, and she knows how to conduct herself.
Funny she couldn't rate a better date on a Saturday night.
And she has an excellent mind.
Then why doesn't she use it?
Oh, I don't suppose you'll be censured for that flippin' hard shell of yours. You're probably just compensating for something.
I am not! And don't you use any of your psychiatry on me.
If I could just try something else on you, just once, just to see if you'd melt under any circumstances. I doubt it.
Well, you'll never know, Doctor.
Because you interest me as a case history, that's all. I'd like to know where you get that inflated ego.
Well, if you're not the meanest, inflated ego case history,
Oh, now, don't run away. Let's finish it.
leave me alone!
Gladly.
Chumley's Rest! Oh, hello, Sergeant. No sign from downtown or in the suburbs. Look, I think maybe we better... Oh, never mind, Sergeant. They just walked in. Mr. Dowd.
Good evening, my dear. These are for you.
For me? Thank you.
They're quite fresh, too. I just picked them outside.
I hope Dr. Chumley didn't see you. These are his prize dahlias. Did he go upstairs?
Not knowing, I cannot see. Those colors are lovely against your hair.
Thank you. I've never worn burnt orange. It's such a trying color.
You would improve any color, my dear.
Thank you. Did Dr. Chumley go to his home?
I don't know. Where is Dr. Sanderson?
In his office, I think.
Thank you.
Dowd, there you are.
I have a cab outside. If it's possible for you and Miss Kelly to get away now.
Where is Dr. Chumley?
Is he coming with us? That's nice.
I don't know, Doctor.
I must apologize for being a few seconds late. I thought Miss Kelly should have some flowers. After what happened out here this afternoon, the flowers really should be from you, Doctor. As you grow older, and pretty women pass you by, you'll think with deep gratitude of these generous girls of your youth. Shall we go now?
Just a moment, Mr. Dowd. The situation has changed since we met this afternoon, but I urge you to harbor no resentments. Dr. Chumley is your friend. He only wants to help you.
That's very nice of him. I would like to help him too.
If you begin by taking a cooperative attitude, that is half the battle. We all have to face reality now, sooner or later.
Doctor, I wrestled with reality for 40 years, and I'm happy to state that I finally won out over it. Miss Kelly joined me down at Charlie's.
Here you are. Upstairs, buddy. We're going upstairs. Is the doctor okay?
There must be some mistake. Miss Kelly and Dr. Sanderson and I are going downtown for a drink. I'd be glad to have you come with us, Mr.
Wilson.
Wilson. They have a wonderful floor show.
Yeah? Well, wait till you see the one we got. Upstairs, buddy.
Just a moment, Wilson. Where did you say Dr. Chumley went down?
As I said, he did not confide his plans in me.
You think the doctor ain't showed up yet?
Not yet.
Well, where is he?
That's what we're trying to find out.
Mr. Dowd walked in here by himself.
Oh, he did, huh? Listen, you. Talk faster, I'm working you over.
I'd rather you didn't do that. And I'd rather you didn't even mention such a thing in the presence of a lovely young lady like Miss Kelly.
Mr. Dowd, Dr. Chumley went into town to find you. That was over 4 hours ago.
Where has the evening gone to?
Listen to that. Smart, huh?
Let me handle this, Wilson. Did you see Dr. Chumley tonight, Dowd?
I did. He came into Charlie's place at dinner time. That's a cozy spot. Let's all go down there and talk it over with a tall one.
Wait a minute. We're going nowhere. Now, I'm asking you a question, and if you don't button up your lip and start giving me some straight answers, I'm beating it out of you.
What you suggest is impossible.
What's that?
You suggest I button my lip and give you some straight answers. It can't be done.
Let me handle this.
Well, handle it then, but find out where the doctor is.
Dr. Chumley did go into Charlie's place, you say, Dowd.
He did, and I was very glad to see him.
Go on, go on.
He had asked for me, and naturally the proprietor brought him over and left him. We exchanged the conventional greetings. I said, "How do you do, Dr. Chumley?" And he said, "How do you do, Mr. Dowd?" I believe we said that at least once.
Okay, okay.
I'm trying to be factual. I then introduced him to Harvey.
To who?
A white rabbit, 6 feet tall.
6 feet?
6 feet and 1.5.
Okay. Mess around with him, and the doctor's probably bleeding to death somewhere in a ditch.
If those were his plans for the evening, he did not tell me.
Go on, Mr. Dowd.
Dr. Chumley sat down in the booth with us. I was sitting on the outside like this. Harvey was on the inside, near the wall. And Dr. Chumley was seated directly across from Harvey, where he would look at him.
Oh, that's right. Spend all night on the seating arrangements.
Harvey suggested that I buy him a drink. And knowing that he does not like to drink alone, I suggested to Dr. Chumley that we join him.
And so?
We joined him.
Go on.
We joined him again.
Then what?
We began right on joining him.
Oh, skip all the joining.
Asking me to skip a large portion of the evening.
Oh, tell us what happened. Come on, please.
Dr. Chumley and Harvey got into a conversation, quietly at first. Later, it became rather heated. Dr. Chumley raised his voice.
Yeah? Why?
Harvey seemed to feel that Dr. Chumley should assume part of the financial responsibility of the joining, but Dr. Chumley did not seem to want to do that.
I can believe that.
Let him talk. Let's see how far this guy will go. He's got guts.
I agreed to take the whole thing because I did not want any trouble. We go down to Charlie's place quite often, Harvey and I, and the proprietor is a fine man with an interesting approach to life. Then the other matter came up.
Oh, cut all the damn double talk and get on with it.
Mr. Wilson, you are a sincere type of person, but I must ask you not to use that type of language in the presence of Miss Kelly.
You're right, Dowd, and we're sorry. Now, you said the other matter came up?
There was a beautiful blonde woman, a Mrs. Smethills, and her escort, seated in the booth across from us. Dr. Chumley went over to sit next to her, explaining to her that they had once met in Chicago. Her escort escorted Dr. Chumley back to me and Harvey, and tried to point out that it would be better for Dr. Chumley to mind his own affairs. Does he have any?
Does he have any what?
Does he have affairs?
How should I know?
Mr. Dowd, please hurry. We're all so worried.
Dr. Chumley then urged Harvey to go with him down to Bonnie's Chicken Inn. Harvey wanted to go to Eddie's instead. While they were arguing about it, I went to the bar to order another drink. And when I came back, they were gone.
Where did they go? I mean, where did the doctor go?
I don't know. I had a date out here with Miss Kelly and Dr. Sanderson, and I came out to pick them up, hoping that later on we might run into Harvey and the doctor and make a party of it.
So, are you satisfied? You got his story. Okay, you're lying and we know it.
I never lie, Mr. Wilson.
You've done something with the doctor and I'm finding out what it is.
Don't touch him, Wilson.
Maybe he isn't lying, Wilson.
Oh, you two don't believe the story he tells about the doctor sitting there talking to a big white rabbit, do you?
Maybe Dr. Chumley did go to Charlie's place.
Oh, it's all big white rabbit, I suppose.
And why not? Harvey was there. At first, the doctor seemed a little frightened of Harvey, but that gave way to admiration as the evening wore on. The evening wore on. That's a nice expression. With your permission, I'll say it again. The evening wore on.
And with your permission, I'm gonna knock your
Wilson, haven't you some old friends you can go play with?
The nerve of this guy! He couldn't come out here with an ordinary case of the DTs. No! He has to come out here with a big white rabbit.
Stimulating as all this is, I really must be getting downtown.
Charlie's place? Is Dr. Chumley anywhere around there? He was there earlier in the evening. What? Well, don't bite my head off. That man was mad. He said Mr. Dowd was welcome at any time, but his friend was not.
That was Mr. McNulty, the bartender. He thinks a lot of me. Now let's all go down and have a drink.
Wait a
Mr.
minute.
Dowd,
Yes, my dear? May I hold your hand?
sure, if you'd like to. Mr. Dowd, poor Mrs. Chumley is awfully worried. Something must have happened to the doctor. You must remember something. Anything else that might help her?
For you, I would do anything. I would almost be willing to live my life over again. Almost. But I've told it all.
You're sure?
Quite sure. But ask me again anyway, won't you? I like that warm tone you had in your voice just then.
So did I. Oh, nuts.
What?
Nuts.
Oh, I must be going. I have things to do.
Mr. Dowd, what is it that you do?
Harvey and I sit in the bars, and we have a drink or two, and play the jukebox. Soon, the faces of the other people turn toward mine and smile. They are saying, "We don't know your name, mister. You're a lovely fellow." Harvey and I warm ourselves in all these golden moments. We have entered as strangers. Soon we have friends. They come over. They sit with us. They drink with us. They talk to us. They tell us about the big, terrible things they have done, the big, wonderful things they will do, their hopes, their regrets, their loves and hates. All very large, because nobody ever brings anything small into a bar. And then I introduce them to Harvey. He is bigger, grander than anything they offer me. When they leave impressed. The same people seldom come back. That's envy, my dear. There's a little bit of envy in the best of us. Too bad, isn't it?
How did you come to call him Harvey?
Harvey is his name.
And how do you know that?
That was rather an interesting coincidence, Doctor. One night, several years ago, I was walking early in the evening along Fairfax Street between 18th and 19th. Do you know that block?
Yes, yes.
I had just helped Ed Hickey into a taxi cab. Ed had been mixing his rye with his gin, and I felt he needed conveying. I started to walk down the street when I heard a voice saying, "Good evening, Mr. Dowd." I turned, and there was this great white rabbit leaning against a lamppost. I thought nothing of that, because when you have lived in a town as long as I have lived in this one, you get used to the fact that everybody knows your name. Naturally, I went over to chat with him. He said to me, "He's a little stiff this evening, or could I be mistaken?" Well, of course, he was not mistaken. I think the world and all of Ed, but he was spiffed. Anyway, we stood there and talked, and finally I said to him, "You have the advantage of me. You know my name, and I don't know yours." Right back at me, he said, "What name do you like?" But I didn't even have to think a minute. Harvey has always been my favorite name. So I said Harvey. And this is the interesting part of the whole thing. He said, "What a coincidence. My name happens to be Harvey."
What was your father's name, Dowd?
John Frederick.
Dowd, when you were a child, yes, you had a playmate, someone you were very fond of, with whom you spent many happy, carefree hours?
Oh, yes, Doctor, didn't you?
What was his name?
Vern McElhaney. Did you ever know the McElhaneys, Doctor?
No.
Oh, too bad. There were a lot of them, and they circulated. Wonderful people.
Carefully, Dowd. Wasn't there someone, somewhere, at some time, whom you knew by the name of Harvey? Wasn't there anyone that you knew by that name?
No, Doctor, no one. Maybe that's why I always had such high hopes for it.
Very well. Come on, Mr. Wilson. We'll take Mr. Dowd upstairs now. I'm taking him nowhere. This is your show. You run it. Let him sit here forgetting all about Dr. Chumley. Your show. You run it. Come on, Dowd. Come on, Elwood.
Very well, Lyman, but I'm afraid I won't be able to visit with you for long. I have promised Harvey I will take him to the floor show.
Dr. Chumley! Are you all right?
All right? Well, of course I'm all right. I'm being followed. Lock that door.
Who's following?
It's none of your business. Listen!
Dr. Chumley! How did you get up there? I just saw you go in there.
I went out through my window. Listen! Don't leave me!
No, Doctor!
Get that man down out of here!
Yes,
No, don't leave me!
But Doctor, you said...
Dunphy, on the telephone.
Yes, Doctor. Dunphy, give that man down his clothes and get him down here right away.
Don't leave me!
Just a minute, Doctor. Judge Gaffney.
I want to see Dr. Chumley.
Hello.
Chumley, we've got to talk to you. This thing is
It
serious.
certainly is.
More serious than you suspect. Where can we go to talk?
Not in there.
The doctor doesn't want you in his office.
No, sir.
Then sit down, Dr. Chumley. Sit down, Myrtle May.
Sit down, Dr. Chumley. Sit down, Myrtle May. Wilson, don't leave me.
Now, Chumley, here are my notes, the facts. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Is that okay?
Now, Chumley, has it ever occurred to you that possibly there might be something like this rabbit Harvey?
Well, of course there isn't, and anyone who thinks so is crazy. Well, don't look at me like that. There's nothing funny about me. I'm like my father's family. They're all dead.
Now then, my client, the plaintiff, Mrs. Veta Louise Simmons, under oath, swears that on the morning of November 2nd, while standing in the kitchen of her home, hearing her name called, she turns and sees this great white rabbit, Harvey. He was staring at her. Resenting the intrusion, the plaintiff made certain remarks and drove the creature from the room. He went.
What did she say to him?
She was emphatic. The remarks are not important.
I want to know how she got this creature out of her sanitarium. I mean, her home.
I hate to have you tell him it isn't a bit like Mother.
Quit stalling. Let's have it.
She looked him right in the eye and exclaimed in the heat of anger, "To hell with you!"
To hell with you! He left?
Yes, he left. But that's beside it. The point is it perjury or is it something we can cope with? I ask for your opinion.
Ruthie, I've been looking all over for
Dr.
you.
Sanderson, disregard what I said this afternoon. I want you on my staff. You're a very astute young man.
Oh, Lyman, did you hear?
Oh, baby.
See you later.
You've just got to keep Uncle Elwood out here, Doctor.
No, I want this sanitarium the way it was before that man came out here this afternoon.
I know what you mean.
You do?
Well, it certainly gets on anyone's nerves the way Uncle Elwood knows what's going to happen before it even happens. This morning, for instance, he told us that Harvey told him that Mrs. McElhaney's Aunt Rose will be dropping in unexpectedly tonight from Cleveland.
And did she?
Did she what?
Aunt Rose, did she show up as Harvey said she would?
Yes, but those things always turn out the way Uncle Elwood says they will. But what of it? What do we care about the McElhaneys?
And you say this sort of thing happens often?
Yes, and isn't it silly? Uncle Elwood says Harvey tells him everything. Harvey knows everything. How can he when there is no such thing as Harvey?
Fly specks. I've been living around fly specks while miracles have been leaning on lampposts at 18th and Fairfax.
Good. Nobody here but people.
Oh, Mother, you promised you wouldn't come out here.
Well, good evening. Now, Myrtle May, I brought Elwood his bathrobe. Why are you all sitting here? I thought you'd be committing him.
Sit down there, girl.
I would not sit down there.
How about you and me stepping out Saturday night, Myrtle May?
Certainly not. Myrtle May, come here.
I'm sorry.
Is it settled?
It will be.
But doctor, may I give an opinion?
Yes, do by all means.
His opinion? Omar, that's the doctor I told you about. His eyes.
It is my opinion that Elwood P. Dowd is suffering from a third-degree hallucination, and the other party concerned is the victim of autosuggestion. I recommend shock formula number 977 for him, and bed rest at home for...
You do?
That's my diagnosis, doctor. Mr. Dowd will not see this rabbit anymore after this injection. We've used it in hundreds of psychopathic cases.
Don't you call my brother a psychopathic case? There's never been anything like that in our family.
If you didn't think Uncle Elwood was psychopathic, why did you bring him out here in the first place?
Where else could I take him? I couldn't take him him to jail, could I? Besides, none of this is your Uncle Elwood's fault. Why did Harvey have to speak to Elwood in the first place? In a town full of people, why did he have to bother him?
Stop putting your oar in. Keep your oar out. If this shock formula brings people back to reality, then let's give it to him. That's where we want Elwood.
I'm not sure this will work on a case of this kind, Doctor.
It always has.
Harvey always follows Elwood home.
He does?
Yes, and if you give Elwood this formula, then he can't see Harvey anymore, and he won't answer the door. Then when he comes to the door, I'll handle him.
Mother, would you please stop talking about Harvey as if there was ever such a thing?
Myrtle May, you have a lot to learn, and I hope you never learn it.
Here he is.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Elwood. I brought you your bathrobe.
Thank you, Veda.
Well, Chumley, what do we do? We've got to do something.
Oh, yes, we must.
I should say so.
Yes, it's imperative.
Well, while you're making up your minds, why don't we all go down to Charlie's and have a drink?
Elwood, you're not going anywhere.
Yes, Uncle Elwood.
Stay here, son.
I plan to leave. You want me to stay. An element of conflict in any discussion is a good thing. It means everybody is taking part and nobody is left out. I like that. Oh, how did you get along with Harvey, Doctor?
We're waiting for your answer, Doctor.
What?
What is your decision?
I must be alone with this man. Would you all step out into the foyer? I'll have my diagnosis in a moment.
Do hurry, Doctor.
I will.
Elwood, you stay here.
Here, Dowd. Let me give you this chair. Let me give you a cigar. Is there anything else I can get you?
What did you have in mind?
Mr. Dowd, what kind of man are you? Where do you come from?
Didn't I give you one of my cards?
And where on the face of this tired old earth did you find a thing like that?
Harvey, the Punka,
Is it true that he has a function, that he...
gets advance notice? I'm happy to say it is. Harvey is versatile. Harvey can stop clocks.
What?
You've heard that expression, his face would stop a clock?
Yes, but why? To what purpose?
Harvey says you can look at your clock and stop it. And you can go away as far as you like, with whomever you like, and go as long as you like. And when you come back, not 1 minute will have ticked by.
Do you mean he actually...
Einstein has overcome time and space. Harvey has overcome not only time and space, but any objections.
And does he do this for you?
He's willing to at any time. But so far, I've never been able to think of any place I'd rather be. I always have a wonderful time, just where I am, whomever I'm with. I'm having a fine time right now with you, Doctor. Corona, Corona.
I know where I'd go.
Where?
I'd go to Akron.
Akron?
There's a college camp outside Akron. In a grove of maple trees. Cool, green, beautiful.
My favorite tree.
I'd go out there with a pretty young woman. A strange woman. A quiet woman.
Under a tree?
I wouldn't even want to know her name. And I would be just Mr. Brown.
Why wouldn't you want to know her name? You might be acquainted with the same people.
I'd send out for cold beer. And I would talk to her. And I would tell her all the things I have never told anyone. Things that are locked up in here. And then I would send out for more cold beer.
No whiskey?
No, beer is better.
Maybe under a tree. But she might like a highball.
I would let her talk. And as I talked, I would want her to reach out her soft white hand and stroke my head. And say, you poor thing. You poor, poor thing.
How long would you like this to go on?
2 weeks.
Wouldn't that get rather monotonous? Just Akron, beer, and whole thing for 2 weeks?
No, it wouldn't. It would be wonderful.
I can't help but think you're making a mistake in not allowing that woman to talk. If she gets around it all, she might have picked up some interesting little news items. And I'm sure you're making a mistake with all that beer and no whiskey. But it's your 2 weeks.
Cold beer and Akron with one last thing. God, man.
Do you think you'd like to lie down for a while?
No. No. Tell me, Mr. Dowd, would he do that for me?
He could, and he might. I've never heard Harvey say a word against Akron. By the way, Doctor, where is Harvey?
What? Don't you know?
Last time I saw him, he was with you.
Oh,
Oh, he's probably waiting for me down at Charlie's.
yes, that's it. He's at Charlie's.
Excuse me, Doctor.
No, not in there, Mr. Dowd.
Well, I couldn't leave without saying good night to my friend, Dr. Sanderson.
Mr. Dowd, Dr. Sanderson is not your friend. Like, none of these people are your friend. I am your friend.
Thank you, Doctor, and I am yours.
And that sister of yours, she's at the bottom of this conspiracy against you. She's trying to persuade me to have you locked up. Today she had the commitment papers drawn up. She has your power of attorney and the key to your safety box. Why, she brought you out
My
here.
sister did all of that in one afternoon? Vega is certainly a whirlwind.
God, man, have you no righteous indignation?
Dr. Chumley, my mother used to say to me, in this world, Elwood, she always called me Elwood. She'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. For years I was smart. I recommend pleasant. You may quote me.
Just the same, I can protect you if I have her committed. Would you like me to do that?
No, Doctor, not unless Vega wanted it that way. Oh, not that you don't have a nice place out here, but I think Vega would be happier at home with me and Harvey and Myrtle May. Oh, Miss Kelly. Diviner grace has never brightened this enchanting face of its fidelity. My dear, you will never look lovelier.
I'll never feel happier, Mr. Dowd. I know it.
Well,
Yes, Doctor.
I wondered if I would be able to remember any more of that poem.
Hey, this rabbit gag is a good one. Kelly never kissed me.
Ovid has always been my favorite poet.
Okay, pal. You're discharged. This way out.
Wilson, take your hands off that man.
What?
Apologize to Mr. Dowd.
Apologize to him. This guy with the rabbit?
Apologize. Apologize.
I apologize. That's the door.
If I leave, I will remember.
Just a moment, Mr. Dowd. Do women often come up to you and kiss you the way Miss Kelly did just now?
Every once in a while.
Yes?
I encourage it too.
I've got to have that rabbit. Go ahead and knock.
Dr. Sanderson, I couldn't leave without...
Oh, just a moment, Mr. Dowd. Do you agree with my diagnosis, Doctor?
Yes. Call them all in.
Mrs. Simmons, Judge Gaffney, will you step in here for just a moment, please?
Is it settled?
Yes, I find I concur with Dr. Sanderson.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, that's wonderful news. What a relief.
Good boy.
Well, let's celebrate. I've got some new bars listed in the back of this book.
This vaccine carries violent reactions. We can't give it to him without his consent. Will he give it?
Of course he will, if I ask him.
To give up that rabbit? I doubt it.
Don't ask him. Just give it to him.
Bessie's Barn Dance, Blondie's Chicken Inn, Better Late Than Never. Oh, Benny's Drive-In.
Elwood,
We'll go to Benny's drive-in. You should telephone for a table. How many of us will there be, Veda?
Elwood.
Mr. Dowd, I have this formula 977. It will be good for you. Will you take it?
Elwood, you won't see this rabbit anymore.
But you will see your duties and
I'm
responsibilities.
sure if you thought of it, Doctor, it must be a very fine thing. And if I happen to run into anybody who needs it, I'll be glad to recommend it. For myself, I wouldn't care for it.
Do you hear that, Judge? Do you hear that, Doctor? That's what we have to put up with.
Veda, do you want me to take this?
Elwood. I'm only thinking of you, Elwood. You're my brother, and I've known you for years. I would do anything for you. Is that Harvey? He wouldn't do anything for you. He's making a fool out of you, Elwood. Don't be a fool.
Oh, I won't.
Why? You can amount to something. You could be sitting on the Western Slope Water District right now. If only you'd go over and ask.
All right, Veda, if that's what you want, Harvey and I will go over and ask them tomorrow.
Tomorrow? I don't want to see another tomorrow. Not if Myrtle May and I have to keep living in a house with that rabbit. Myrtle May and I have no social life. And no life at all. We're miserable. Maybe you don't care.
I've always felt Veda should have everything she wants. Veda, are you sure? I'll take it. Where do I go, Doctor?
In Dr. Sanderson's office, Dowd.
Say goodbye to the old fellow for me, won't you?
How long will this take, Doctor?
Only a few minutes. Why don't you all wait?
Dr. Sanderson said it wouldn't take long.
Now, Mother,
Oh, how can I help it?
Come in. What do you want?
I'm looking for a dame. Oh, there you are. You jumped out of my cab without paying me.
Oh, I forgot. How much is it?
All the way I live from town, $2.75.
$2, 75 cents. Oh, can't seem to find my coin purse. Myrtle, do you have any money?
no, I used the money Uncle Elwood gave me for my new hairdo for the party.
Judge, do you have $2.75 I could use to pay this man?
Sorry, nothing but a check.
We don't take checks.
I know.
Dr. Chudley, do you have $2.75 I could borrow to pay this cab driver?
Haven't got my wallet, no time to get it now. Must get on with this injection. Sorry.
Well, I'll just have to get it for you from my brother, but he's in there to get an injection.
You're gonna get my money from your brother? And he's in there? Getting some of that stuff they shoot out here?
Yes, but it would be but a few minutes.
Lady, I want my money now.
I said it would only be a few minutes. Besides, I want you to take us back into town anyways.
And I told you I want my money now. Well, nose the cab back to town, and you can wait for the bus at 6 in the morning.
Well, of all the pig-headed
I
stubborn-
should say so.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing $2.75 won't fix. You heard me? Take it or leave it.
all the unreasonable things I've heard of. Dr. Chudley, could you have Elwood step out here for a moment? This cab driver won't wait.
Don't be long.
Elwood, I've stepped off without my coin purse. Would you pay this cab driver $2.75 and nothing more? He's been very rude.
How do you do? Dowd is my name, Elwood D.
Lofgren's mine. EJ.
I'm very glad to meet you, Mr. Lofgren. This is my sister, Mrs. Simmons, my charming little niece, Myrtle May Simmons, Judge Gaffney, and Dr. Chumley.
Hi.
Have you lived around here long, Mr. Lofgren?
Yeah, I've lived here all my life.
Do you enjoy your work?
It's okay. I've been driving for Apex Cab for 15 years now. My brother Joe's been driving for Brown's pretty near 12.
You drive for Apex and your brother Joe for Browns. That's interesting, isn't it, Veda? Mr. Lawson, let me give you one of my cards.
Let's get on with it, Dowd.
Certainly. 1 minute. My sister and my charming little niece live with me here at this address. Won't you and your brother come and have dinner with us?
Sure, be glad to.
When? When would you be glad to?
I couldn't come any other night but Tuesday. I'm on duty for the rest of the week.
You must come on Tuesday then. We'll expect you and be delighted to see you. Won't we, Veda?
Elwood, I'm sure this man has friends of his own.
Veda, one can't have too many friends.
Elwood, don't keep Dr. Chumley waiting. It's rude.
Of course. Here you are. Keep the change. I'm very glad to have met you, and I'll expect you Tuesday with your brother. Will you excuse me now?
Sure. Sweet guy.
Well, you could have just waited.
Oh no, listen lady, I've been driving this route for 15 years. I brought him out here to get some of that stuff and drove him back after they had it. It changes them.
Well, I certainly hope so.
And you ain't kidding. On the way here, they sit back and enjoy the ride. They talk to me. Sometimes we stop and watch the sunsets and look at the birds flying. Sometimes we stop and watch the birds when there ain't no birds. And look at the sunsets when it's raining. We always have a swell time, and I always get a big tip. But afterwards, uh-oh.
Afterwards? Uh-oh. What do you mean, afterwards, uh-oh?
They crab. They yell at me to watch the lights, watch the brakes, watch the intersections. They scream at me to hurry. They got no faith in me or my buggy, but it's the same cab, and it's the same driver, and we're going over the very same road. It's no fun. And afterwards, no tip.
Well, my brother would have tipped you anyway. He's very generous, always has been.
Not after this. After this, he'd be a perfectly normal human being. And you know what bastards they are. Nice to meet you all. I'll wait.
Little May, Judge Gaffney, stop it. Stop it. I don't want him to have it.
You can't do that. Dr. Chumley is giving the injection.
Oh, Mother, stop this.
Oh, I don't want him to have it. I don't want him that way. I don't like people like that. Ellen,
Judge, do something about her. Mother, stop!
you shut up!
Oh,
I've lived longer than you have. I remember my father. I remember your
What's this?
father.
What's all this commotion?
What's the problem, Doctor? She's sounding off again?
She wants to stop the injection.
You haven't given it to him yet, have you?
No, but it's ready. Take Mrs. Simmons away, Wilson.
Leave me alone. Get your hands off me, you white slaver.
You don't know what you want. You didn't want that rabbit either.
And what's wrong with Harvey? So what if Myrtle May, Elwood, and I want to live with Harvey? Nothing to you. You don't even come around anyway. It's none of your business. Elwood! Elwood! Oh, Elwood!
There, Veda. Veda's all tired out. She's done a lot today.
Have it your own way. I'm not giving up my game at the club again, no matter how big the animal is.
Come along, Elwood. Let's go. I hate this place. I wish I'd never seen it.
But see here.
It's whatever Veda says, Doctor.
Why? It's my coin purse. I could have paid that cab driver myself. Harvey. Oh. Hey, come along, Elwood. Come along, Myrtle May.
Good night, Dr. Chumley. Good night, Mr. Wilson.
And hurry up, Elwood.
Doctor, for years I've known what my family thinks of Harvey, but I've often wondered what Harvey's family thinks of me. Oh, there you are. Doctor, do you mind? You're standing in his way. Where have you been? Oh, sorry. Harvey, where have you been? I've been looking all over for you.
Thank you.